In a dystopian future America, a team of military-embedded journalists races against time to reach Washington, D.C. before rebel factions descend upon the White House. This movie is directed by Alex Garland. This is an interesting one for me because I'm pretty conflicted with this film, to be honest. I think this movie really excels in certain aspects and really doesn't deliver in others. But let's start with where it excels, the visuals. It's a very well-made film, and the visuals are stunning and disturbing. The horrors of war are on full display, and it's not stylized or glorified. It's just there for you to take in. The realism and almost nonchalantness about it just makes it hit. There's a lot of war-torn and abandoned locations that gave me some Last of Us and OG Modern Warfare 2 vibes. Even some of the music and score gave me Last of Us vibes as well. The battle scenes are visceral, intense, and shot very, very well. I would say they're a joy to watch, but they're really not, but they kind of are, if you know what I mean? Which now unfortunately starts to bring me to my not so great things, like the lack of a story. The visuals basically tell the whole story, which is cool, but I wanted a little bit more than that from a film like this. All we know is that there's a civil war going on in America and that we're following a bunch of reporters that are trying to get content from it. And for the most part, shit just kind of happens while they're on their road trip to DC. The world building would hit harder if we had some more context behind it, but everything just kind of happens because war. The different little pockets we get to see of civilization are cool though, and I didn't need the film to get super political or make any kind of statement that just bashes you over the head, because the film still does make a statement. I just want something to really grasp onto more. I also had a hard time like fully connecting with the characters, even though the performances from the cast are amazing across the board. My favorite being Wagner Moura as Joel.
The Last of Us vibes continue.
He's a calm, cool, collected, and charismatic reporter that works with Kirsten Dunst's character Lee, who's the lead of the movie. She's a very popular war photographer that's hardened, but is also starting to have problems with her PTSD. Even though I like the characters, I just didn't feel too emotionally invested in them. I obviously didn't want to see anything bad happen to them, but if something did happen, it didn't get me emotional. I was kind of just like, damn, okay, that sucks. I gotta say though, Jesse Plemons stole the entire movie for me. He has the best scene in the film by far. It's fucking nuts. Bro is amazing at just being a straight up menace. It's a super intense and tense scene that I will just never forget. It's gonna be one of the best scenes of the year, to be honest. I also thought the second half of the film was way stronger than the first half. All of the highlights for me were from the halfway point all the way to the end. The second half of this film honestly saved it for me. And again, it's just because of the stunning visuals that are on display. Because the first half of the movie, I was just sitting there like, okay, this is kind of whatever. There's some fucked up shit every now and then, but there's nothing like too crazy going on. I was expecting a little more, but man, the shit you see in the finale is wild. A lot of this movie is disturbing on a human level. Like, wow, it's just fucking nuts how cruel we can be to each other during war because of war and picking a side. But in the finale, it's that plus seeing what a real modern American Civil War could potentially look like. It's genuinely disturbing to see Americans massacring other Americans in our own country. I was just sitting there very uncomfortably just taking everything in, and it was making me a little emotional, to be honest. And again, it's just all the visuals and what you make of it on your own, because the movie doesn't tell you how to feel and who the supposed good guys are, because there are no good guys. Everyone just loses in this situation. So in that sense, I was kind of okay with the movie not being overly story or dialogue driven. It just leaves you to process what's going on how you want to. That doesn't really excuse the lack of story throughout the film, but I kind of excused it and appreciated the restraint at the end. Overall, this movie left me pretty mixed. I was disappointed and left wanting more, while also being blown away by some of the stuff that I saw. The ending, the visuals, and the great performances really saved this film for me. Civil War is clocking in at an 84% on the Bravo barometer. It's an incredibly well made and powerful film, but I think there was some potential for it to be even better and more powerful. Even though there really wasn't like a strong narrative to be fully invested in, I still found myself very invested in the movie because of the insanely tense and high octane moments. I appreciate that the movie didn't decide to just preach to me for 2 hours because it didn't need to. It relies on the actual filmmaking to affect you, and affect me it did. This is not a feel-good movie, and it honestly scared me a little bit as an American that this could possibly happen someday. We've been blessed to really never see war fought on our own soil, so to see what that would look like was pretty disturbing, especially when it's us fighting each other. Like, that just hit deep. But those are just my opinions. Let me know what you thought of my review and the movie in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews and streams coming very soon. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.